Welcome to the show, guys. Joseph Robert Camo, the Fantasy Football Counselor. We're talking Week 13 DFS, Daily Fantasy Sports, helping you with your DraftKings, Fanduel lineups, or wherever you want to play daily fantasy. Because it's Week 13, you want to get in the game. Some people are out of their leagues. If you didn't get 16 rounds, you're probably out of your leagues and eliminated from possible playoff contention. So you got to get into some DFS, daily fantasy. It's the best time to play this time of year. Now, if you are new to the channel, make sure you guys subscribe, leave a thumbs up. This show is brought to you by mybookie.ag. And listen, guys, this is a place to enhance that game watching experience. Head on over there, guys, right now. mybookie.ag. Use promo code FFC upon sign up. They'll double your first deposit. Okay, guys? So go do that right now. This is the site I use. Again, it's going to make the games a lot more fun. mybookie.ag. Promo code, guys, very simple. FFC for Fantasy Football Counselor. Go sign up right now. Create an account. Have some fun. Dive in. Take a risk. Have some fun. Again, this is not financial advice, but I'm just telling you, just go have some fun. That's it. But be smart. Play within your limits, all right? All right, so let's talk about this, guys. Talk about every optimal play at each position for DFS, guys, going into Week 13. All the optimal plays at each position. So let's dive in here. And if you are new to the channel, make sure you guys do hit that thumbs up, guys. It does help a lot, all right? So start off with the quarterback position, okay? With quarterback, when I am playing DFS, always like to secure and anchor myself with an ace quarterback. Now, we're saying, Joe, Russell Wilson, what about him? He's a solid quarterback, but he's been playing like crap the past couple weeks. Yes, there's no guarantees even at the quarterback position, but what you can do is see trends, relatively solid trends of consistent performance with the quarterback position. Now, who is that quarterback to start this week? Now you're saying, well, Joe, Tom Brady's got an easy matchup. Tom Brady, yeah, do you start him versus Atlanta? Sure. Optimal matchup, second easiest versus position, had a 12-point week last week, 23 the week before. Been relatively consistent, but not over-the-top exciting, right? So, you want that over-top exciting quarterback, but there hasn't been that over-top exciting quarterback. Now you could say, well, Justin Herbert's been over-the-top exciting. Yeah, for the past 2 games, but the week before was mediocre. Now, Herbert's got a tough matchup, so be aware of that. So, Josh Allen as well, another guy who's been pretty solid. Tough matchup. So that's something you got to decide this week. Do you want to start Herbert? Do you want to start Mahomes? Do you want to start Josh Allen? All three of those guys have massive upside, and they're relatively expensive, like $7,900 for Allen, $7,700 for Mahomes, and then what's Herbert sitting at? $6,700, a little more affordable. They've got tough matchups, just so you're aware, okay? A safer option you may want to consider, again, is Tom Brady. Derek Carr's got a good match coming off a decent week the week before. Dak Prescott, good matchup as well. And he's coming off a 28-point week. He's another safe option. Jalen Hurts due for a bounce back. I like the value of Jalen Hurts at $7,000, who's got an easy matchup versus the Jets. So I like Hurts as an option here at $7,000. Again, Tom Brady, a safe option. Derek Carr and Dak Prescott are kind of the guys I like here at the quarterback position for DFS. You may want to roll the dice on Matt Ryan. He's got a mid-range matchup versus Tampa Bay. Had a, mediocre. But again, I don't really trust him. I don't trust him. He's been very up and down. Again, decent matchup. And then mid-range matchup, Carson Wentz coming off a red-hot week. Not really red-hot, but 26 points. He's got a mid-range matchup as well. Good value at $6,100. But again, I'm giving you the guys I like. Moving on to the running back position. Who do I like? I like Jonathan Taylor. He's got a great matchup versus position. And it's Jonathan Taylor coming off that huge 5-touchdown game a couple weeks ago. Had a mediocre game last week, but still managed to put up 20 points. So Jonathan Taylor is an absolute must plug in, but you're going to pay for it. You're going to pay $9,200. If you don't want to pay for it, you're not going to get him. Simple. Miles Sanders, I don't trust him, but he's got a good matchup. Other guys that got a good matchup. Alexander Madison's got a great matchup versus Detroit with Dalvin Cook out. He's $7,600. They're not giving him away here on DraftKings or Fanduel. You're going to pay for him. But he has the opportunity to really, really shine this week. Antonio Gibson coming off a huge week, 27 points. Is that going to continue? He's got a good matchup. So optimal matchups here. Jonathan Taylor, you're going to pay for him. Antonio Gibson, hard to trust. Alexander Madison, good matchup. Elijah Mitchell coming off a big game, got a good matchup. He's $6,000, not bad value. Miles Sanders, good matchup. Very, very hard to trust. Other guys that have good matchups, Uncle Lenny Fournette coming off a huge week, 47 points last week. He's got another good one this week. Expect a touchdown out of him, but you're going to pay $7,300 if you want him as your running back this week. DeAndre Swift coming off a down week last week, due for a bounce back, got a good matchup. Swift at 6,600. 6,600 is not bad. Darrell Henderson, good matchup as well. Now, those are the guys with good matchups. you may want to consider. Now, if you are considering guys like Zeke Elliott, David Montgomery, guys like, I don't think Alvin Kamara's come back. I think he's limited in practice. Even Saquon Barkley, who's due for a big game. So Saquon Barkley, like I said, Cordell Patterson, Zeke Elliott, David Montgomery, tough matchups versus position. Cordell Patterson, how do you bench him after having a 31-point game? You don't in year long, but in DFS, he's $7,000 on DraftKings, but also the second hardest matchup versus position. Something you should be aware, okay? So, I've given you some optimal plays here. If you want a good value, also Javonte Williams, 20-point game last week, got a mid-range matchup this week. Okay, guys? Wide receiver, again, this is where I like to roll the dice. Okay, roll the dice. Now, speaking of rolling the dice, don't roll the dice on your grooming. I got to plug them, guys. Manscaped.com. Head on over there. Use promo code SHOWERLINE. Christmas is around the corner. Treat yourself with some amazing products. The fit and finish is phenomenal. Head on over to Manscaped.com. SHOWERLINE. Get a trimmer. And I love their shampoo. Go try their shampoo and body wash, guys. Got to plug them, Manscaped. All right? All right, optimal matchups here at the wide receiver position. But again, there's a lot of guys that have optimal matchups, but very hard to trust. Like Amon-Ra St. Brown's got the easiest matchup versus position. Are you going to start him? At $4,400 is value, but he's done nothing. I don't trust him. I'm not going to start him. Other guys that have good matchups. Hunter Renfrow. Love the matchup this week versus Washington. Absolutely love it. Good matchup versus position coming off a 25-point week. Did really well in my year-long for me last week. Congrats, Hunter Renfrow. Love you. He's been consistent all year round as a solid flex wide receiver 2-3 for me. Actually, he's a wide receiver 3 for me because I usually have Deontay Johnson, Adam Thielen. I got him plugged in at the 3 slot. As a flex, I don't have 3 wide receivers in the league. So, starting anyway. So Hunter Renfrow, great value this week. But again, you're going to pay $5,800, not bad. DeAndre Hopkins, I believe, should return. Watch him. Watch his status with $6,200. Not bad. Optimal matchup for all of the Arizona Cardinals wide receivers. Something to be aware of. But again, it's a bit of a coin toss. And now, I do like CeeDee Lamb this week's matchup. I like all of the wide receivers matchups. Like I said, Dak Prescott for the Cowboys. Great matchups. But again, it's a dice roll. Who's going to be the one for that week? We don't know. I mean, it could be either any and all of them, okay? Same with Mike Evans, Chris Godwin. That whole situation there, Antonio Brown, that situation, great matchup. But again, who's going to be the one? Nobody knows, right? Devontae Smith, I like the matchup this week playing the Jets. Now, here's the deal. Devontae Smith does have a good matchup, but he's coming off a 4-pointer, guys, last week. 4 points, just not getting it done. So, is he going to get it done this week? I don't know. He had a pretty easy matchup last week. Is he going to get it done this week? I don't know. I just like the value. Devontae Smith is a guy that you could start. Good matchup. And, he's the guy. I expect a big week out of him coming off a very, very, very down week last week. Okay, so also Michael Pittman as well. Mid-range matchup, $5,700 due for a big game. And you got to look at those. You got to look at trends. You got to look at, okay, he had a down week last week. He's got a good matchup this week. He's due. He's the wide receiver 1. Why not? Deontay Johnson, safe matchup. If you want a safe guy, him and Cooper Kupp. But Cooper Kupp, you're paying $9,000 for. I don't know if I'm going to do that. I like to take my risks on some of these wide receivers. I've named you some guys you can roll a dice on. Elijah Moore, $5,500. Tough matchup, but you can roll a dice on him. Cole Beasley, a safe plug and play to get your roster up, get the points up, right? Not exciting, but someone you can get it in. Brandon Ayuk, I think Deebo Samuel will be up. Brandon Ayuk could be an interesting start. 7th hardest matchup for his position, but Brandon Ayuk could be in for a big game, and he's $5,600. So there's a nice dice roll for you. Tough matchup as well for the Chargers wide receivers, like I said, with Herbert. But Mike Williams, again, another wild card guy, $5,700 on DraftKings. You could roll the dice. He is one of those guys that's kind of boomer bust, can really boost your roster, okay? And then Thielen, Jefferson, safe numbers. Tyreek Hill, safe matchups, I should say. And Tyreek Hill and Thielen, Jefferson, all safe matchups on their team. So Tyreek Hill playing Denver, very safe mid-range matchup. Very hard to trust, but very expensive, $8,400. I don't think I'd pay it. So, again, take some risks here at wide receiver. Take some gambles. Like I gave you a couple. Jalen Waddle, mid-range matchup coming off a 32-point week. Is he going to put 32 points up this week? Probably not. He's got a mid-range matchup versus the Giants, but $6,400, not bad value. A guy you could roll the dice on, could give you a better ROI. Jalen Waddle over a Tyreek Hill, $8,400. You bank the $2,000. Waddle could have more ceiling. But again, it's a bit of a coin toss, but this is where I like to take risks with the wide receiver position. Tight end, I'm just plugging in the best possible tight end available. George Kittle's got a good matchup coming off a crappy week. I don't trust him. I'm not paying $5,900 for him. Rob Gronkowski, if you can start him at $5,300, $5,300 on DraftKings, it's not bad. This guy's been consistent as hell when he's on the field. He's heavily targeted. He gets those touchdowns, inflates his number. Gronkowski got a mid-range matchup this week versus Atlanta, but I like him. He's in my year-long. He's been doing well when he's on the field. When he's healthy, he's doing well. Now, Jack Doyle as a value at $3,300. Easy matchup coming off a big week. Why not roll the dice on him? But again, do not expect 20 points coming off that week last week, okay? Kelsey's got it in tough, $7,300. I'm not going to pay it coming off a safe week. Third hardest matchup versus position for Kelsey. Just be aware of that. Dalton Schultz, 10th hardest matchup versus position, but pretty safe. You're paying $5,700, very expensive. Again, with tight end, try to get a guy that's a value, like Jack Doyle. Pat Freiermuth, $4,200, not bad. Good matchup for Freiermuth, like I said. Good matchup for Doyle. There's some value there at tight end. Or if you want to play it safe, go a guy like Gronkowski. Get a guy like that that's been consistent every single week, okay? CJ Uzomah, good matchup, very high, dice roll, but he's been crappy the past 3 weeks. Just something to be aware of. So look at trends, go back 3 weeks, start guys that are performing at optimal level, okay, guys, or are relatively consistent at tight end, okay? For defense, it's pretty simple for me. I like the Buccaneers. Great matchup, but Atlanta, they're notorious for sometimes having big games, then crap in the bed. I do love the Rams versus Jacksonville this week. Great matchup. One of the best matchups for defense, but you're paying $4,000 for it on DraftKings. Eagles versus the Jets, like that. I really like that matchup at $3,600. Colts versus Houston, love it. Cardinals versus Chicago, love it. Vikings, Detroit, and Giants versus Miami also. So Vikings, Giants, also decent matchups. And Chiefs versus Denver. So again, if I really like the matchups, I do like the Rams, Eagles, Colts. And then you can go Vikings, Giants, Chiefs if you need to stream another defense if you are playing year-long, all right? So those are your optimal plays at each position. Now, some strategies here, fantasy football, DFS, daily fantasy tips here. Again, try to get into, I like to get into those big pools for like a low amount of money where there's a lot of people, but watch the multi-lineups. Some people put like 150 lineups, so it's very hard to beat those people. If you go into those smaller pools, the payout isn't as big and you got to buy in with more money. Literally I like those like $5, $10 matchups with a lot of people, and then I go for a lot of wild cards and, home run guys. Like maybe I'll start Jack Doyle at tight end and he goes off, or I'll get Waddle. I like to take some risks and go into those big pools with the bigger payouts. That's what I like to do. But again, it's up to you guys how you play it. Go out there and have some fun, all right? Make sure you guys do subscribe to the channel. Thumbs up. I appreciate you guys. Follow on social media links below. And again, mybookie.ag, use promo code FFC. You'll have a lot of fun there as well. All right, guys, I'm out. Subscribe. We'll talk soon.